Navale, please tell us what happened 2 weeks ago.
Okay. 2 weeks ago, we met with I want to say it was a fae creature. Some like a tree lady. She needed help regarding a creature that was disrupting her forest or a tree that she was meant to watch over. Um, it turns out it was a giant oh my gosh, I can't remember the name. We fought it. We fought its babies. We kicked its ass. Um, Karuto got new powers from it. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Oh shit! I forgot to give you the
You
my
still haven't
choice.
answered that. Yes, correct, Nix.
It'll probably be
Um,
the plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
and then Six and Leo had a talk. That's all I remember.
And would anyone like to add
Oh,
on to
Mira.
anything? Oh,
Mira came back.
Mira did come back, yes.
We were just arriving at the town that has the teleportation circle in it, allegedly.
This is true. No one has anything else they'd like to add? You simply arrived very recently. Uh, it's the middle of the day. You look across this wide variety of buildings around you. It seems fairly quaint, especially since many of you have been living in a city for several months. It seems almost small and idyllic. There's farmlands about, there's animals that ride off in the distance. You notice the population here seems less obviously human than many other places. You see a variety of halflings that seem to be moving about, and their homes themselves seem more like burrows over actual houses built up. You see every now and then red-skinned tieflings or a couple of what are most likely half-orcs, green-skinned and grimacing about off to the side doing manual labor. Coming in, you still get many looks, being that you are a very eclectic group. As you see off in the distance, there is a very large house built on a hill that towers over everything else. It seems to be an old estate that, even from far away, you can tell has been abandoned and is slowly turning to dust and rot. What would the party like to do?
Can you remind us, or me particularly, is it like morning when we're coming in?
Midday. Like 12, 1.
And we're fully rested.
Oh, it's been several days. You've had many long rests. You may restore everything if you did not already do so.
Nice.
Well, is there anything about this mansion in the distance? You said it's kind of crumbling, but does it look like it maybe had once been magnificent in like it's like somebody rich could have lived there?
Roll an insight.
Well,
Uh, it doesn't quite look like someone rich could live there in your estimation, just from a quick glance. While it is crumbling and clearly in disrepair now, and that might have something to do with it. You've seen much fancier and better buildings all over the place, especially from your own homeland and Dulveran. While many buildings in the Pleasure District and the Pearl District you walk through looked much bigger, much nicer, and had much better materials than what is there.
Do we know where we're going?
I assume Leo says that out loud.
Yes, Leo says that out loud.
I believe Linnell said it was the manor itself, and I'll point at the large house atop the hill. I also seem to recall her saying something about it being haunted. At first, I thought that she meant that in the case of she made it appear haunted so no one would bother her, but I think we should be careful regardless.
Well, perhaps we can ask the locals if they know anything of it.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. So how does this magic work? What do we got to do?
The circle. You're referring to the circle?
Sure. The thing that's in the house.
Were I to see the circle, but for a minute, then there's no ritual to be performed here and today. I just need to see the circle to and copy it in my notes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Let's do it.
So with a let's do it, what does the party do?
I go look at the circle. Hey.
All right.
You look for a circle on the ground. It's not there.
Aw.
No.
Well, time to pack it up, guys.
Good effort.
Yes, our intel was bad.
I sort of like Karito's suggestion of asking the locals perhaps just a bit and then perhaps making a perimeter once we get there.
Sure, let's do it.
Well, the usual gathering place would be some kind of inn or watering hole, no?
It sounds like Karuto, you're going to kind of lead this. So could you just roll me investigation?
Sure thing. I'm actually pretty good at that. Bonk. Nice.
Fortunately,
Okay.
you are one of those people who, in this group, if you go randomly talk to people, they'll go, "Yeah, you look normal," and actually talk to you. You find a nearby half-orc who's currently doing some manual labor, and when you start asking about, "Hey, is there like a place where you can get drinks here?" He directs you towards a small tavern that's clearly designed just for people wanting to take a break and not really designed for constant travelers coming by. Uh, the smell of booze is very strong, though you quickly notice that not only do a lot of people clock you, they seem to also clock the fact that you stared at the mansion in the hill. And a tiefling comes up to you, a probably mid 30s, early 40s, maybe, old man who gives a very sly smile. "You're here to raid the house, aren't you?"
Not quite. We are simply here to investigate.
"Ah, investigate." He winks at you.
Karito looks a little baffled, but winks back.
Right. Every now and then people come by and want to go explore the haunted manor. I could give you a brief rundown for buy me a drink for the day.
Character sort of looks uncertain and glances at Rev. Is that something to be concerned about? Do we require a guide?
I'm not going in there myself. I could get hurt. I can just tell you what I've heard. Prepare yourselves.
Hmm. Well, we are heading to the tavern regardless. So, it is not too much.
Karato, mark off an entire copper.
Gosh, a copper?
Big spender.
How am I going to afford this?
But
I don't even have coppers. God, I need to reduce one. How many coppers is it to a silver piece?
10.
Okay, thank you.
What I'm imagining this is in character when you get told the bill is a copper. You're like, who pays in copper?
It's like conferring quite a. How many is that? Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. Such
As
a strange currency.
what a clearly just alcoholic and filling drink is poured, and he's drinking it in front of you. He gives a very big smile. So, I'm going to give you the warning that I give everyone who's come to go see what's inside the ancient haunted manor. Everyone seems to run out, or, well, screaming and bloody, and that's if they run out. Some never even leave. The place is very haunted. Uh, if you go by in the middle of the night, you can hear chains rattling and the building, the furniture inside still moving. The fact there's furniture inside should also be a concern, considering that place hasn't been lived in for, oof, 6 years?
What happened 6 years ago?
Horrible story, horrible story. You see, in this lovely town of ours, we used to have some Iridians who thought they owned it, and they set up a place for them to stay, that manor up there. Then, in the middle of the night, they say their daughter went crazy and killed everyone than herself.
That is
What
spooky.
happened to the daughter?
And herself.
Oh, sorry. Everyone, but sorry. I misheard.
Some people have investigated and tried to find more information, but anyone who enters, as I said, runs screaming and bloody. We've tried to tear it down, and again, there's just no way to get close. Well, there's ways to get close. You can enter without any issues, but the walls themselves seem almost indestructible.
How recently was the last group here?
I think I'm gonna need another drink for that one.
Rev pulls out a copper and puts it on the table.
Oh, 3 weeks ago. Oh, you want more information? Right, of course. Listen, they were Northmen. Those big fellas who tend to be very, how do I put this, stout and brave. They thought they could handle it. Uh, all three of them just came out an hour later, bruises all over them, freaked out. One of them started talking about how the chair flung itself at him, the table flipped over, and it seemed as if a fire got started inside and then immediately stopped when they left the room. They would have been engulfed in flame if they stayed, but for some reason it wasn't burning the house itself. Normal creepy shit.
Can Can I do an insight to see how much of this is showmanship and how much is, actual recounting?
Go for it.
Ooh.
I love your rolls, Karuto.
Really are feast or famine, eh?
There's definitely showmanship to it. You're not completely sure which parts you can call bullshit on and which parts is him just telling you things that he's heard. He he seems more happy that you're willing to buy him drinks and figures that if he keeps talking, you'll buy him more drinks. So he'll probably come up with more stuff the longer you stay. That becomes less and less true.
With a 14, and I'm fully aware that this will be inaccurate because it's 14. How many more coppers would I likely spend before it just became utter nonsense?
Karuto, it's copper. You could give them a silver and just see what happens.
Yeah, but I don't want to waste time. I guess
That's
giving
what I'm
them
giving you with
silver.
a 14. You don't have an answer for that. You're like, this is not that much money to you.
But I already spent a silver.
So as you're contemplating this, he's kind of looking towards the group. So you are a very interesting group. Can I ask why you decided to think there might be treasure in there this time? Last group thought, casting magical artifacts and something that's sealing a ghost there, and they have to destroy it. You do-gooders like that?
Uh, Something along those lines, yes.
Well, I mean, if the manor gets destroyed, I guess our tourist trap dries up, but we don't really like your tourism, so win-win.
Hmm. Then we will do our best to only maybe slightly destroy it.
He laughs at that one.
Character gives him a slight smile. um, Carito is going to give him, or rather, put down, um, 5. Yeah. Wait, no. Brain is not working. Yeah, 5 copper.
Hmm.
Because it brings my copper total to 5, and also because it's like almost like a tip. And if he wants to give us any more information, that's cool too.
All right. So I'll let you know one thing that someone found out and screamed about bloody murder, and the one time that someone came out and one of their friends didn't. Apparently, there's a basement. It goes directly into the hill itself. If you get there, the house stops trying to just hurt you and goes to just trying to kill you.
Ah, hard mode. Interesting.
Goes into the hill like deep, or like
Eh,
into a different structure.
no idea. I just know it goes a little bit down. Look for downstairs if you want to die, I guess.
He nods. Good advice. Noted. And Karato stands to leave.
Just one more question. Are there the Iridians used to live here? Were they wizards? Do you know?
Define wizardry. Talking magic bullshit. I mean, I never saw them cast anything, but who knows? Maybe.
Okay, that's fine. Just curious.
My experience with Iridians is they more like that religious holy bullshit types. You know, like that one. It points towards Navali, who probably has the helm symbol on her. So,
Well,
party, do you have any additional questions, or do you intend to investigate further elsewhere or go in?
Well, I think the sort of the best way is sort of ambient listening. If anyone else wants to do some active listening, like to talk to people, that's cool. But like Karata is gonna like sit there, listen to what people are talking about. Because if they've arrived, they've probably made a stir as well.
Leo sort of says, well, if the outside of the mansion is clear, perhaps I can. There's some, like. Be good to do a perimeter check with some of my spells that take a long time to cast.
Does anyone object to Leo just spending time doing that while the rest of you are listening at around the town? Maybe trying some of this terrible liquor?
Nope.
Karuto, I'm not going to have you roll again for that investigation. A 26 is fine for listening for ambience. First thing you notice, there are definitely people talking about your group. You definitely can tell that some people figured out that you're probably from Doveran from the direction you came in. Though you also hear some people wondering why there's a bunch of demis with you, and a lot of confusion about that. Additionally, you can tell that people coming in to investigate the manor is not an uncommon occurrence. You get the feeling this happens every few months. It just someone wants to see what's inside. It's like a tourist trap that could kill you.
A literal tourist trap.
Leo, what spells are you checking?
Two things. One, detect magic, because they said the house was magic, and it seems like if they were able to burn it down, they would have by now. But also, I was reading Crow's Spirit Tracking, and it has the secondary use, the non-Eidolon version, about creatures that have moved to the ethereal plane. And so if this place is haunted, I don't know if there's sort of like a way I would be able to get a ping on whether there's the wording of the spell. I'm a little confused on if this would even tell me anything, but I'm just trying to give it a scan with that spell to see if anything tracks.
Well, at the very least, I can give the first one immediately. You notice there's a light aura around the house itself that pings an abjuration.
Okay, which would tell me simple protections.
Like,
Probably.
that doesn't surprise you.
Yeah.
As for the crow spell, let me go double check it again really quick.
I can paste it if that's helpful.
That would be, actually. There is a complication with this, so I'm going to have to check something. So give me 1 second. There is a creature that has moved into the ethereal plane in this location. You know it is inside the house. It is basically dead center.
So that's active tracking, not just sort of like once upon a time.
No, it's a when they went there. Once they move in the ethereal plane, they move out of it. But
Okay,
like that's where they went in, essentially.
gotcha. And when you say dead center, that does not go down to the basement necessarily?
Yeah, it was in the first floor, or the entrance, I should say, as far as you can tell.
Okay. And so my awareness of this spell is that the spell has 2 uses, and that one of them is like Eidolon specific. So anything that falls within the first paragraph is not necessarily Eidolon related.
Correct.
Okay.
Like, just to give you a variety of examples, you know that variety of spectrals, undead can do
Yeah.
that. Variety of fiends can do that.
Okay. I am satisfied with that information. I will head back.
The rest of the party, this took him like 20 minutes. Did you do anything else?
Just also try to listen, try to get people's take on us, I guess.
Confusion at the amount of demis.
Makes sense.
You're used to it. Party regroups without any issue. What would you like to do?
Well, certainly something haunted in there on the first floor. It's not terribly useful information. I think we all knew that, but I suppose it is. I don't know if there would be a role for this kind of like if there is something on the ethereal plane just sort of floating in the mansion, like does that tell me that sort of activating +1 weapons or anything would be necessary?
I'll allow a religion or arcana check. You know that the majority of things that can jump to the ethereal plane, a mundane weapon would not hurt without some kind of specialized oil, it being silver or being magical.
Okay. I share that information, that it might be good to have any such things. And on that note, I will change from shield form to my blade form on the armory arm guard.
Well, with that additional information, is there anything the party would like to do?
Celastra feels prepared.
Let's start making our way there then, yes.
Before we go in real quick, Celester, do I still have the 21 or do you want to give it to somebody else?
Is anybody else interested in having +1 side volleys AC?
Now go for it.
I just want to double check in case.
It's like, got it.
All right. Skern, as we approach, is it big enough that if we wanted to take Mira in, is that possible, or should we leave Mira out?
So it's complicated. Hold on. I have to do measurements. Bringing a horse into a house, I know Mira is a deer, but an elk technically, is complicated. Could she squeeze in the front door? Yes. Could she probably move around in the hallways? Probably. Not comfortably, but probably.
Mhm.
Would it cause problems if you wanted to, say, leave or cause blockades inside these hallways? Definitely.
Okay. I was just curious how big this mansion was. I was like, is this
It's
deer
not made
sized?
for a giant. You can tell immediately it was made for humans, 5 to 6 feet tall humans.
Is it at least like kind of nice outside? Would Mira enjoy being outside?
It's a little bit breezy, but it's not bad. Mira seems completely content and happy to be alive. Regardless, the two foxes are just playing off to the side anyway.
I'm gonna ask Mira to just watch over the foxes.
You feel a warmth that you can tell is an affirmative.
Nice.
Anything else the party would like to do before you enter? That seems like a no. The smell of dust and rot is almost immediate as you approach the door. As you move towards to actually see if it is locked, the door itself seems to almost ajar from the movement before you even touch it. There is an eerie wind that seems to whistle throughout the entire building, and even peeking inside, you can see dozens of small knickknacks and furniture that's still left there, dust coating almost all of it. All of you have dark vision, so you don't have to worry about any of that problems, but there is no lights within besides from what's coming from the windows. I'll ask a simple question. Who is leading?
Not Carito.
If nobody wants to, I'd assume Navali is?
Why would you let the paladin lead against ghosts?
That's kind of weird. Oh. I mean, does anybody else want to lead? Navali, I guess. I just assume since she has the armor.
Is, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is anyone else like a little suspicious about this?
How do you mean?
Okay, that dude we were talking to made mentions that they were getting tourism off of this, and he said he didn't like it, but that guy was a little bit sketch. When he's like, oh, the house will try to kill you if you go to the basement, that makes me think that they're hiding something in the basement.
Just because I'm curious. Reverence, could you roll my wisdom? Cool. I'll whisper something to you real quick.
aside from what he told us, am I correct that all we know is that Linnell used to train here? So at least it is an Iridian place.
Seems that way.
Skern, you mentioned the sort of like abjuration to protect it, to protect the house potentially, but would I have, the idea of like it being somewhat like moldy and decay-y, like there's something in my mind that doesn't track about that. Is it like it's protected from like magical fire, but not necessarily from collapsing in on itself, or what?
Roll Arcana.
Also, on that vein, I'm sort of Leo's asking himself if anything in here is an illusion.
So, the fact that doesn't add up is correct in your mind. If for example, a magic sword doesn't rust. The fact that it's rotting and decaying when you can tell it's magically protected, that could only happen is if the magic is intentionally letting that happen. It's like it's trying to create an atmosphere.
Hmm. It was Leo relays that in some way, but then says, if somebody's hiding here, something here, perhaps the Iridians crafted this story to ward people off from it.
That seems plausible to your head.
Six, I think I liked your suggestion
Huh?
about checking the basement.
Yeah. I bet if we're looking for something, that's where the something's gonna be.
Shall we?
Yeah.
So I'll ask again, is Navali leading?
I'm assuming Navali is leading.
Navali,
Yes.
the house itself smells rather terrible. There is the constant smell of moldy wood that wafts throughout the entire area as you enter. The door itself, at first you think if you push too hard it'll break, but no matter what you do, it seems completely solid. And when you walk inside, you notice almost straight to your right there is a dining room that still has plates set up that have dust covered all over them and silverware. That's probably not made of silver, but still kind of gleams, and some of it seems relatively sharp. Uh, and straight ahead, you notice that uh, there is what is most likely some kind of study or library, though you see no books inside. Immediately, you catch your very keen ears can catch that as you step forward even a little bit, some of the objects that you noticed in the dining room and the study start to shift. Like you can hear the banging of them or the clanging almost instantaneously.
So they're moving.
Yes. Just slightly. Like if you look at them, they don't seem to be. But anytime you're not looking at them, you can hear them moving.
Interesting. Okay. I'm assuming people are behind me.
Up to the party, but I'm going to assume that too.
I'm here.
Yes.
Are you all seeing this?
Huh?
I'll say, Karato, you're also able to tell this. They seem to be like you can hear movement anytime nothing else is looking towards it. But the second someone's looking towards it, it seems to go still, as if intentionally trying to fuck with you.
Hmm. If this place is enchanted to keep people away, then I have only to think that this is another part of it.
We did hear the guy say that silverware and cutlery was thrown in their face, so I don't know how dangerous it is really, or if it's just meant to be scary.
We had to
Did
go
we
through
keep-
the kitchen to get to the basement.
Do
You
we
don't
know
actually
that?
know where the basement is. You'd have to look around.
Oh,
The only thing Leo will indicate, or will have indicated from what he knows, is that the center is where he detected a ethereal presence at some point, which doesn't sound like it's towards the kitchen, if the kitchen's off to the side.
The kitchen's off the side. The study would be closer to the center.
here's the question: did we look around the outside of it before going in? Because there could have been an external entrance.
Leo, during his spells, definitely looked around on the outside. I'm saying that preemptively because he would have had to.
Okay.
There was no other entrances. Except windows. You could break through a window if you tried, I guess.
Is this single story?
You notice that there are stairs that should go up, but it seems boarded up. And when you looked in the outside, you saw that there should be a second story, but there's no windows in the second story.
Did we keep moving forward?
I believe so.
Nabali, as you sounds like you step towards the study, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. 12 or 13.
As you walk away from the dining room to your side, you hear something very suddenly and turn just in time to see a plate smash directly into your face. Take 9 damage.
What?
Navala just looks slightly annoyed.
9 damage? That's got like fucking shards embedded in your face and shit.
Oh yeah, I mean you're definitely bleeding,
Yeah.
but like you'll be fine.
Listen, I've got knocked down by four times by a bird. I'm not scared of a plate.
Roll
let
intimidation.
me help you out a little
Okay.
bit.
I would love to roll intimidation.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Thank you, Celestra.
Problem.
Navali and Karatsu, I need both of you to roll perception.
Perception.
Navali, you're too busy being annoyed at the plate being thrown at your face to hear what would be interesting to this, but Karuto, you hear something that's not ghost-like. You hear scampering afterwards. It's quiet, very quiet, requires incredibly keen senses, but whatever did that is physical.
Would I be able to tell? Like, I guess there'd be a chance I could tell if it's like small claws or big claws that doing that.
With the
Like
24, I will say you can tell it's probably a smaller creature.
It seems there are also rats that live here. Maybe they're not affected by the magic.
Sorry, do you mean like rats that threw a plate or just regular rats?
Just regular rats.
It'd be a very big rat to throw a plate.
And very dexterous.
Extremely. I mean, Navali's gonna keep going if nobody stops her. She ain't scared of no plate.
As you keep heading towards the study and the rest of you kind of follow behind, Kara, I need a dexterity saving throw from you.
Oh, damn. Let's go.
Hilarious.
Wow.
Karuto, as if this thing being called a rat and being told it can't throw something is offended, as you pass by the dining hall, a knife is flung directly into your side with unerring accuracy. Take 6 damage.
I think I know the spirit.
Navali's just gonna walk up and give you a little lay on hands.
Thank you, Navali.
Of course. She gives you 6.
Nice.
House doesn't realize how much healing capabilities you have, so this could be funny. But Navali, as you stop, go heal, you notice that the plates and knives stop shifting again as you walk through. As you head into the study itself, you notice that there are several doors, each of them still seeming to be just as the entrance, kind of rotted and smelly. There are several shelves that are clearly meant to hold books inside of them. There's no books inside. You do see cobwebs and dust just filtering through, and a desk that is clearly leaning off to the side with a chair that seems slightly off, as if it's off balance. The doors to the study seem to lead deeper in, one more to the right and one more to the left. You're pretty sure the one more to the right will head more towards the center if you want to listen to Leo's sense of something going to the ethereal realm.
If we all make it to the study, I would want to. This sort of like is the trigger for me of like, oh, if
You have no
somewhere was
ideas,
going
like
to be a
waiting and
circle,
getting everyone inside.
yeah. But if there was a circle, this might be a place where it might be. So I don't know if there's like a carpet on the ground or.
Roll
Yeah, just-
perception or investigation. The first thing you realize is the ground itself, while still as dusty and filled with what is likely webbings from some kind of creature, feels dirty. You don't see a carpet, you don't see a rug. You get the feeling that if someone planned to make a circle here, there might be an illusion, and you start poking about. There's no illusion either.
Hmm. Well, am I correct? Leo says out loud. I mean, whatever's happening here is probably not safe for us to teleport into should we be returning here someday. So are we looking to resolve whatever's happening here or just to find the circle?
Start by finding the circle, but again, I think I'd like to go to the basement and see if we can perhaps find some of Karuto's rats.
Dex saving throw.
Not yet.
Could I like locate object and target stairs that go down? Or like a ladder, I guess.
You could attempt locate object for a ladder for sure, or possibly stairs, but you might get a misread.
Yeah. I'll save it.
These stairs go up.
That being said, Navali, if you want to keep leading, you see multiple doors. One would head to the center is to the right, the other one is to the left. Which would you like to choose?
I want to see if I can hear anything in particular on either side of the doors.
Roll perception.
Do I get?
Yes, it's hearing.
Okay, yay. I just want to make sure I check. Okay, well that didn't help. I'm gonna say that's left door.
Leo, as Navali stops for a moment and you start looking around, you suddenly hear a shifting, and immediately one of the shelves falls directly towards you. I require a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. My favorite type of saving throw.
Technically, it's a 6 if you're 10 feet within me.
You are. Leo, take 14 damage as it crashes into you and pins you to the ground.
Ugh.
Navali will immediately help Leo out of that by lifting up the shelf.
Lastra will assist.
It's heavy, but it's not that heavy. You have no issues in doing this, and you can feel as if it's heavy enough that wind couldn't do this, obviously. Real quick, what languages does everyone speak?
Comment?
Common and undercommon.
Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
Sure, I just got.
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Elvish. Oh, and Khazarian. I don't know why I'm such a linguist.
6, because you're a rogue. 6, are you a linguist?
I know common and thieves can't.
All
I
right.
got head grow too.
Cool. None of you understand as you reset the shelf and help Leo up this strange language that seems to echo all around you. And in the dust, you can see the dust move away and scratches appear on the wall that just says, "Get out."
Would Navali had enough time to do a divine sense on that?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time to do that.
I
However,
would like.
divine sense explicitly says thing you can see.
It does? So I guess I couldn't be like, I look at the dust?
I'm going to allow a religion roll.
Okay.
Good luck.
I'm so great at that.
Helm be praised.
Why? Helm!
Hold on. I have to figure this out in my head.
Why? Why is it every single time? When I'm not trying to speak to my god, Helm doesn't answer, but if it's literally anything else for the religion, I roll good. Helm, why?
Helm is a massive troll.
So, as you see it forming in front of you, you immediately turn on your divine senses. While you cannot physically see what is doing it, you have the sense of perhaps you can get some kind of lingering effect. And at first, you're not quite sure what this is. Then you think back, and you've definitely felt these senses before, and you've definitely seen similar things, and that language seemed familiar in some way or form. This is not undead. This is a fiend.
It looks like we might be dealing with a fiend.
What does that mean?
A fiend?
Yeah, like I know it. I mean, we've met fiends, but like, how does that? What should we do?
Skern, I assume Navali knows what a fiend is.
The Tandem Imperium is filled with them.
Yes. Well, I would say similar to uh many of the people we know at the Tandem Imperium. Uh Very likely different than them, but sort of the same idea. Probably not a succubus, though.
As you're saying this, you hear the words again just echo all around you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, as soon as I hear the hint of more words coming out, I would not as a ritual cast comprehend language.
Okay. So everyone else hears Leo, you hear it translate, "Shut the fuck up, lady. You don't know what we are."
Well, first of all, Leo backs away from any walls that have heavy furniture. And then says, it's not, it understands what we say, and it doesn't appreciate your judgment.
That's its problem, then.
And I can now, I mean, if I can serve as translator, should anybody want to talk to it for an hour.
Okay, you said that it's like the people at the Tandem Imperium, right?
Additionally, as you say this, the words appear again of Ranya. Yeah, fuck you too, person who can understand us.
Us?
Fuck you. You can quickly tell that there is more than one voice. It's just that they're trying to speak in different terms and different tones to make it sound scarier.
Leo,
Go ahead.
can you sense anything in particular about the way they're speaking? It sounds like they aren't speaking very nicely.
So out of character, I as a player am trying to interpret your tone, Skern. Like, they almost sound like tricksters or jokers. Like, is that an impression Leo might get?
Roll insight. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a quick thing that you get of, even though they have been throwing stuff at you that could seriously hurt someone, it doesn't seem like they think it will hurt you. It seems a lot more like they're fucking with you.
Yeah.
Even when they're talking, it seems a lot more pranky and almost as if they do not take you seriously or any of this seriously.
Leo tries to whisper to people to relay that because he doesn't want to further incite them. It says, I think they're kind of friendly. Leo says, holding his side.
Hey, fiends. The people in town are terrified of you. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, fuck those guys. High five for doing our job.
What do they say?
They don't like the people in town.
Yeah, the people in town fucking suck. They came up with these, like, different stories to explain why you're here. Do you want to hear one of them?
Roll persuasion. You get silence in return, which you can immediately interpret as them going, stopping and sitting down to listen to you.
Okay, so there were a bunch of like humans who used to live here, and they came up with this story about how the daughter went crazy and killed her whole family and then herself, and they think the furniture is haunted. Like, oh, ghost chair. Oh.
The chair just squeaks.
Yeah, just like that. None of them have any fucking idea what you're doing, but we thought it sounded pretty interesting.
Karuto, you're the one with the absurd natural perception. Could you roll it for me?
Sure. Bonk.
Karuto, you hear scampering again. But in this case, it seems a lot less like they're trying to get away and a lot more like they are trying to move around this room and trying to figure something out about what Six is saying. It seems almost as if she has piqued their curiosity.
Well, Fiona, it seems to be working.
You guys are fiends. Do you know Linnell?
Roll persuasion. And you immediately get this for Leo of heretic.
Not a fan. What did she do?
Uses forbidden powers. Trained under those who would dare destroy us. Also, good friend of her master.
Oh. Who's that?
Roll persuasion, Leah. Oh yeah, Mistress Azel.
Mistress or Mister?
Master, mistress. She doesn't care.
Oh. Friends of Azel? I'd say to the group. Not so much friends of Linnell.
Which, by the way, just to reiterate for this conversation, the rest of you are hearing like garbled demon sounds continuously.
And it's not tongues, so Leo isn't actually speaking that language, but he's just like, oh, yeah? Yeah, indeed.
Conversational, you know.
Azel was the one who first pointed us in the direction of this place for a teleportation circle. Do you know anything about that?
Why didn't you say so? If you're here for her, we just need evidence that you were sent by her. And then we'll let you through, no problems.
Do we happen to have a symbol of our friendship to Azel? I'll ask out loud, like, are you familiar with the Tandem Imperium?
Who?
People that Azel works with.
Listen, I don't think you know how these work. Like, we're contract to her. We don't know her life. You have the stuff that proves you're supposed to be here?
They're looking for proof.
Would hearing Azel's voice perhaps be enough?
And immediately you can tell, even without the actual words, that they seem, I mean, no, but I want to hear your impression.
Celestra, would you be able to contact Azel?
Yes, but in a way that they could hear.
Perhaps she can give us some sort of help, though.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
My version of that would allow for her voice to be heard.
That easier.
I'll ask these spirits whose names, or these fiends who we haven't even physically seen yet. I'll be like, "Do you have a name that I can introduce you as if I were to reach out to Azel?"
You know what? You seem like you wouldn't use this to abuse it. Bligger sports.
Blubble Sports?
Bligger sports.
Bligger Sports, okay.
Can I get a typing event in the chat, please? I love it.
Okay. I will begin casting my transmission spell, and I will say, Azel, we have met with Bligger Splorts to try to gain access to the teleportation circle. They need your approval.
Why are you in the manor? Doesn't matter. Fine. Let them know that it's fine. Tell also the devil in the basement not to kill them.
Presuming that they heard that, everybody
Yeah.
heard that, I say, is that sufficient?
That's a really good impression.
Well, it's magic. I actually contacted her.
They seem to be pausing for a moment as if figuring that out, and after a good solid 30 seconds. Oh! Your spell is weird.
Yeah, but I couldn't have known about the demon in the basement, so presuming that's true, hopefully that's proof.
Yeah, he'd fucking murder you. He's actually here to guard that teleportation circle, so we'll be right back.
Leo gives a thumbs up in a general direction, which the party may be able to interpret as success.
Six also gives a nervous thumbs up.
I think we're in the clear.
Sure glad you were able to communicate with them. That made things a lot smoother.
Yeah, shit.
This has been kind of a weird day.
We've gotten way weirder.
At the same time, perfectly normal.
We should probably, we have time, but we should probably leave in a frenzy and help keep up appearances.
Oh, good idea. Let's tell them that when they come back. They'll like that.
Ideally, they don't hurt us too much.
As you're discussing what you're planning to do, particular doors open. The door to your left opens without you even touching it. And when you peek through, another door opens. And you quickly can tell that it's trying to lead you. Can I assume that you just follow the open doors?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Famous last words.
As you follow the doors that are opening, the house itself still seems dirty and decrepit, though as Leo is looking around and everyone is quickly starting to think about of if this is intentional, there's likely spells that are intentionally trying to make it seem more haunted than it actually is. Uh, you can tell there's a lot of things that they'd be able to push on you, spray on you. You notice there's even like this jar of oil that's not heated or anything, but it's designed to stain your clothes, is over a cauldron that's designed to be just tipped over when you go around. But nothing happens. Nothing gets pushed onto you. You don't have to roll any saving throws. DM is sad. Uh, you get to the basement. The floor itself immediately becomes this very fine wood. There's no longer dust, there's no longer cobwebs. Everything seems completely as if everything went from about to fall apart to almost constantly polished and cleaned. The stairs going down, you see two doors to your left and right that both seem locked. Or not locked, just closed. And a door to your front that recently seems opened. You see dozens of chains that are just on the ground. Uh, you can tell that it was likely around the door, maybe even minutes ago. And directly behind it, you can see a faintly glowing aura of what appears to be a teleportation circle that Leo can immediately recognize. To everyone else, it seems like this chalky blue thing on the ground of alien sigils and symbols that don't make any sense. Inside that room, you notice hanging from the walls hundreds of metal chains that constantly are clanging and moving, but nothing seems to attack you or do anything to you.
Is that
And-
blue thing it?
Sorry, no demons in this room. No big demon.
No. At the very least, not visible.
Yes, I believe so. Just need to, and Leo just kind of like pulls out a book out of his jacket, like sits cross-legged on the ground and is sort of just starts sketching.
Interesting. How does it work?
And Leo's just like he bad at multitasking, but because he only needs to study it for a minute. You see that he's like just draws a circle, tries to replicate the symbols in a quick fashion, not kind of. He didn't bring out the protractor or anything to try to accurately depict this. And then he closes the book and says, "It is a anchor for which the circle. I mean, the circle itself doesn't actually do anything. It is through channeling the magic spell. I would need to recreate this circle and kind of project ourselves through it to create an echo across wherever we are to this circle."
Huh. Would it be hard for us to build one of our own?
The fact that this is here means, I mean, somebody who had very, very rich means must have made this. It would be take a lot of time for us to make our own and cost in. I'm just like ballparking out of character, but I think it's like in the realm of 20,000 gold or something, maybe even more.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, a considerable expense. But for now, I think I have everything I need at least.
Do we just leave?
Leo looks to Rev. Also, our friends are still around us, presumably.
Damn right.
Oh, if that's all you need, then yeah, I suppose we can head out.
Oh, hey, invisible guys. While you were getting the big guy, he came up with the idea. We're gonna like come up with a story about how scary it was. We're gonna come out screaming. I was thinking like we found the previous group that came in here boiled alive.
Ooh, actually, hold on. You, after a moment passes, see what appears to be very tanned skin. You hope that's not human skin, floating in front of you. We'll fling this at you as you leave.
That's scary.
Yeah, Leo's just directly translating at this point.
Sorry, I assumed, but I shouldn't have assumed. Yeah. Oh, good idea, Leorin. Oh.
Blicker Lords, should we come in on this teleportation circle? Are we in the clear now?
Well, yeah, Mistress Azel let you in. It means that she trusts you with the circle, which means we're not supposed to hurt you, according to our contract.
Would we, for any reason, need to let you know before?
No. You can do that? People do that?
It seems only polite, but... Well... unless there's anything else.
Yeah, we'll throw stuff at you. Get out.
They seem to be on board with the plan. Is there anything we want to do to embellish it?
I like the silences. You have no idea how to embellish it.
How do you improve on perfection, you know?
Maybe you could like splash some blood around, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, we got that too.
Oh, great.
Hold on. She's the biggest. Navale, you see a large jar suddenly float in front of you that's just filled with what appears to be some kind of ichor that seems to be continuously regrowing in the bottle. Don't move. And it looks like it's about to be splashed onto you.
Does Navali have enough time to plug her nose?
Yes.
Okay, she plugs her nose and closes her eyes.
She is now completely covered in blood.
I think this might be enough, guys.
Whose blood is it?
I don't need to know that.
Do you want to carry somebody out? Never mind. Overthinking it. We should just leave.
You don't have to translate Leo, but they do explain, well, technically this is the blood of anyone who's ever died in a 3,000-mile radius. It kind of gets summoned directly into this jar that would be used for ritual magic. And really, it's the blood of all heretics and healers and other people who likely deserve to burn in the 9 hells.
Leo
Navali
keeps it
looks
to
at Leo.
himself. Leo keeps that to himself and says, "Oh, interesting."
Just Navali looks at Leo with this long stare of like, I swear to Helm, do not tell me what this is.
Don't worry about it. We should leave.
I'm assuming you then all leave.
I'm gonna ask a question. Does Navali actually look intimidating, all covered in blood?
Yeah.
So we run out and scream?
I give it my best holler.
That's the plan.
I would like everyone to give me a performance check.
Oh god.
My best holler.
Meow really loud.
Oh my god.
Okay, I love this perfectly. Everyone except Navali and Karuto take this as seriously as possible. Pretend to be afraid. Scream as you're leaving. Get flesh flung at you. Navali, you just kind of walk out looking defeated and annoyed,
And I just
covered in blood.
throws her hands up. She's like, ah.
No one believes you. Karuto, you do the opposite. You ham it up way too much. Like, everyone can tell you're acting because you're acting.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
That being said, no one's going to question this considering one of you is covered in blood and they just saw flesh come out of the house.
Do we just run screaming all the way through town and leave?
If nobody stops Six, that's what she's gonna do. All the way back to the mounts.
I
They
like to imagine Navali is just like walking still with her hands up with a monotone ah, and then turns to Mira, stops like, come on, let's go. Ah.
There is a definite, very funny image of this happening, and then it gets even a little bit sadder as the foxes look at you concerned because you're covered in blood and start licking the blood off of you. Mira seems completely fine. She has a mental link with you. She knows what happened.
Navali's a little concerned that the foxes are gonna get sick. So wait, is now the mental image of Navali is walking and the foxes are following her, licking her?
Yes. As you're screaming, going, ah, in a monotone.
I love this! Oh my god.
I don't know what it says about Shield of the Outcast that we went into a building and ran away 5 minutes later, but, you know, job well done. Very efficient.
Honestly, I'm just going to throw out all these papers for the stuff that could have happened. It's fine. It's very funny.
Spooky Manor Pacifist Achievement?
I was really looking forward to you fighting the devils. It's fine. Either way, you have the teleportation circle. You're heading back to Dolberan. Is there anything in particular the party would like to do on the way back? Because I'm going to let you know, I'm very upset about this. There's no encounters.
Oh my god. Okay, number 1. As we're getting out of there, holy shit, Navali, Lirin, that was such good thinking.
Yes, well done, Lirin.
Was my performance that good? I thought it was kind of bad.
No, your performance sucked. No, I'm talking about when you said they're just like the Tandem Imperium. They really were. We just treated them like the Tandem Imperium and everything worked out.
You guys must have
Yeah.
gotten up to some stuff with the Tin Imperium while over the last few months.
Is there some water nearby?
No.
Navali just continues to lift up her arms and is just like, alright, I guess this is the only way I'm getting clean.
Oh,
Well, animal handling.
Um,
The foxes get bored before you're clean.
shit. I don't know how my mother did it. This is weird.
Navali, I'm going to ask you to roll me an insight check, and I'm going to warn you that a high roll might make you sad.
An 11.
With an 11, yeah, you have no idea how she did it. Well, party, is there any conversations or other things that you would like to have happen during the 6 days that are coming back to Dilveran?
Rev would like to take a watch with Leo at some point.
Sure. Additionally, I do need to mention this one part. It is the first of the Twin Moon Pale, where the Pale is coming back out. The first night, 6, you have no nightmares, you're fine.
There is some time at that night where she stands in quiet contemplation looking up at the sky.
I am back and am happy to do a Watcher with Rev.
Is there anything in particular you'd like with staring up at the sky? 6?
Not with any particular person. She'll chat if engaged, but she's just quieter than normal. Not in a nervous way. She's just calm. The moment passed as if she's unengaged, and she goes to do watch.
Well, I will ask, does anyone engage 6 as she stares up at the pale moon coming out on the first of the twin moons?
Is this on watch or before we go to bed?
It has to be before you go to bed or even on watch of the night. The moons are out, so it's the middle of the night. This technically happened directly after the manor.
6 volunteers for first watch.
Celastra volunteers as well.
I mean, we can set this up very easily. You two can talk and have your scene, and then we can move on to Leo and Rev's scene. Unless we also volley Karuto. Do you want a scene after that, just for the sake of hilarious balance?
I honestly can't think of anything I want to talk about. So unless Nivali has something,
The only thing I think they talk about is Navali complimenting Karuto on his acting, because she probably thought he did
my lord.
good.
Good to know. 6 and Slostra. Go ahead.
Hey, 6. I saw you taking a look at the moon earlier. Is everything okay?
Yeah. I thought I'd be more nervous than I am. But it feels just like any other night.
Do you think you have reason to be nervous?
No. I thought I did before. I don't think I was ever under attack by the moon. I think it was that sword.
I think so too.
She nods. It didn't make any sense to me that Dad would send his Eidolon out to hurt me.
Well, you certainly know him better than I do, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me either, so I think we're in the clear.
She nods. Plus, Leorin said it's not actually the moon, it's a being that makes people think it's the moon. I'm not entirely certain how it works.
Yeah, I'm not either. Seemed a little complicated.
Sounds like a scary story.
Does. Fairy tale even.
Yeah. That stuff in the manor was really funny.
It really was. I'm glad that we were able to talk to them. That seemed like they weren't ready to give that up so easily.
It just seemed like they were bored. As someone who frequently gets bored, I had a lot of understanding.
I can see that. I bet it does get pretty boring sitting in the mansion all by yourself. Just taunting away visitors every few weeks or so.
Yeah. Like, what would you even do? You would run out of things to do, especially if, like, you couldn't leave. Oh, that sucks. You know what? I'm glad that I'm not a devil in a contract at a manor.
Yeah, me too. I bet you'd get really good at pranks, though.
Hell yeah, I would. You fucking know it. Okay, if I die and you can't res me, I'm gonna haunt the shit out of you guys.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I don't want to go through that again.
Probably not me either.
I hope so.
Okay, I don't plan on dying, but if I do, just know I'm gonna animate the shit out of the furniture in the guild hall. I'm gonna throw it all over. Unless you, like, pour one out for me or something, then I will be appeased.
You'll be our guardian ghost.
Yeah, if someone comes to fuck with you, oh, I'm gonna fuck with them so good.
Well, I'm glad to know you have our back, even in the afterlife.
Yeah, completely, all the time, absolutely, Celastra, especially for you.
Thank you.
Can I be one of your snakes?
Oh, certainly.
That burns people up? Yeah. Oh, you're great, Celastra.
You too.
I choose to think, unless Celastra has anything she wants to bring up, that Six goes on bullshitting and joking with her for a little while.
Celastra is totally down.
And as the two of you joke and talk for a while and then lay down and wake up the second watch, Six, as stated before, you have no nightmares, there's no issues. Honestly, it's probably more peaceful knowing that you're fine. Leo and Rev, go ahead.
Leorin,
Hmm?
you did well back there.
Thanks. It's
It,
just a spell.
even so, it's not so frequent when things are that smooth. Only one other time in recent memory that I can think of. But it puts me in the mind of what lies ahead. I trust you remember the desert, yes?
Yeah, I'm guessing that that's our destination. Yeah. I'm. What about it?
You know how dangerous it is. And it is because of that that I have been meaning to speak to you. I have been uncertain about how to approach this. I think I more or less know what I'd like to say and how I'd like to say it, but first I have a question for you. You do want to be part of Shield of the Outcast, yes? I assume the answer is yes, since you came back and are working with us.
I do.
Okay. Okay. So, this is how this is going to work. I am the guild leader of Shield of the Outcast, and I am going to talk to you now. And I want you to listen, and I want you to be silent, and I do not want you to interrupt. I'm going to talk, then I will prompt you, then you may speak. Please keep your answers concise, then we will move on. Do you understand?
Uh, Describing Leo's demeanor, uh, he doesn't look like he was caught off guard in any way. He perhaps knew that like a conversation would need to come, but there is a part of maybe the way that he's being spoken to right now, you can probably tell that your tone is putting him a little bit on edge. Where he, the reaction you get is like somebody who's like shrinking back a little bit and like feels like they're about to be like punished. But he sort of huffs. No, sorry, huffs is the wrong word. He takes a deep breath, trying to calm that down, and then he nods.
For Rev's part, so he glances over at Leo and sort of notices this. His demeanor is pretty calm. He sees you nod, and then he also nods and kind of, I assume there's a campfire of some kind. He just kind of gazes into it. Very good. Okay. I would like to discuss the circumstances surrounding your initial departure. So, from my recollection and from what I am given to understand, it was our decision regarding Parmelia that was sort of the crux of the issue. We had wanted to go to the mine, which would take valuable time, and you disagreed with our priorities. After that, we had a conversation. In that conversation, you indicated that we were going to discuss individual issues that might impact the group as a whole, sort of clear the air. And I cannot speak for everyone, but I know in my case, you volunteered information that I came to you confidentially regarding my family. I gather from the reaction of others that they were also unhappy with how this went, and I know that in at least one case there was some arguments about one of our guildmates' beliefs or their understanding of their situation. Following that, you left in the middle of the night without a word. You left behind your guild badge, and you left behind a note. Rev will pull out a familiar piece of parchment and unfold it. This note, which begins, I am traveling across the sea to the city of Voluminous, once my home, to research their vast catalogues for more concrete information about the Pale Moon. If time permits, I will also study the Iridian Empire and their purpose with the Eidolons, and if I'm lucky, perhaps I will have time to discover the whereabouts of Karito's homeland, of Celastro's people, and of other interests our group may have to help us to help each other. I'm unhappy with this decision and would rather have us travel together with focus in our mission, but the Pale Moon will not wait for us to investigate the Iridian Fort, to spend weeks collecting powder for the Tandem Imperium, or to war with the anti-demi gangs at the docks. I will seek Rasowin's support to send you assistance for your missions you choose to take over the coming weeks and months, as I know you travel towards danger. I feel guilty for not joining you, but I won't leave you without an extra sword. I will be in contact infrequently as my arcane abilities are best put to use to aid my research. Please reach out to me as needed, otherwise I will return as quickly as I can. Don't forget to tell Crow if you plan on accepting their request. I will inform her of my temporary absence, but what you choose to do over these few months is entirely up to you. Stay safe, Leorin. What all of these things tell me is that you do not trust us. So, with all of this in mind, and understanding that you do want to work with us, I would like to ask, what are your goals? What do you want?
Leo kind of pauses a bit. Um, I I mean, I truthfully, my goals are a work in progress. I don't have a grand thing that I'm trying to accomplish. I just suppose whether it's to be believed or not, I want to keep the people I care about safe.
Okay. Okay. There is one other point that I would like to clarify. You mentioned it in your note about us not having focus in a mission. I remember in the conversation when you mentioned this, and at the time no one spoke up. But I think we understand what our mission is in terms of what we are trying to do. We are Shield of the Outcast. We offer protection and aid to those whom society deems are outcasts. Give them a voice. That is our focus.
Leo gives you the look as if he's trying to gauge if he's supposed to respond to that or not.
I think Rev will keep going. When you first returned, you mentioned speaking to everyone on an individual basis. Did you get to do that?
I've been making slow progress, but progress. I could be wrong in this statement, but I felt like this conversation that you and I are having was the only other one that was perhaps urgent, not to suggest that conversations that I've yet to have with Karuto would not be important, but that before we were to take a journey to the desert, that I think I've maybe guessed that Karuto and I are on enough of terms to not feel rushed to have that conversation. I may have I may not be speaking that clearly, but I guess what I mean to say is that I aim to speak with Karuto soon, but I haven't really gotten a read on him.
Is he? That's fair.
Right. And sorry, I spoke with Navali and Salastra together, and where I had I think Navali had more to say, so it probably would behoove me to speak alone with Salastra as well, just to check.
I mean, I heard what I assume was the tail end of a conversation with Six the other night. I suggest no. Actually, I'm not going to suggest. As your guild leader, I'm ordering you to speak with those who haven't. In due time, if you need to, feel them out, whatever you need to do. And I'm also ordering you to speak to everyone you've already spoken to again. And please listen this time. Understood?
I understand, Rev. I'm doing my best. What is Rev? Does Rev appear to be done talking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't. I was muted. Rev nods at that. Yes. Well, otherwise, unless there's anything else, sit out the rest of the watch in silence.
Leo, well, he kind of said, like, can I ask one thing?
What's that?
Leo will open up his bag, and he has like loose leaves of paper. One thing he pulls out is there's two things that he pulls out. One is a letter from Roswind that is also pretty old at this point, and the second is the guild deed. And the guild deed, which presently has Leo's signature and such on it, if I recall. And not the guild deed, I should say the deed to the winery, more specifically. The guild, I don't think actually, correct me, Skern. Is the guild registered to Leo or just the property?
Technically, the property is registered to Leo, but in order to have said property, in order to be a part of the guild, you have to own said property. So it's complicated.
Okay.
They're both technically.
But then there's this, and I'm trying to find it, but there was a letter that had been received that Leo had been writing to Rosalind about the opportunities and options to transfer ownership of the guild. And while I can't find the letter, I do know that somewhere on it says that Rosalind would be able to transfer the contract to Rafael Ortega, but that it might cause consequences that need to be dealt with. I know that Leo showed you this before, I think, at the Guild Summit.
Yeah.
But Leo brings it out and says, I don't know what these consequences are, but I do imagine that this is something we should take care of.
Rev will look at them, and he'll be quiet for just a couple seconds. In time, I am not the most popular in Dulveren right now. I think perhaps turning in a paper through official channels might invite trouble, perhaps. Especially since I was told not to be there. But in time.
Well, perhaps you should hold on to these nonetheless.
Rev will take them, and he'll nod.
Leo smirks in sort of like a, I don't know if smirks is the right word. He sort of like a half frown, half smile, sort of like, and then just sort of stares into the fire and has nothing more to say unless he's asked.
As the two of you kind of look elsewhere and let your thoughts take you, eventually you need to actually sleep and you wake up Navali and Karuto. Hey, we just had a serious conversation. You two want to have a fun one?
Haruto.
Hmm?
When we were running out of the manor, you did a great job acting. I don't think I did very well, but that was... Would you be able to teach me?
Well, I cannot say it is a skill I have practiced before. He's actually like looking a little sort of possibly bashful about this. Like it's hard to tell with character being so reserved as he normally is, but
We could practice together?
Perhaps where not where others can see so easily.
Yes, I think that would be best. Also, maybe I don't want Parmelia to see. I think she might laugh.
Mm, mm. Well, it is often difficult to acquire a new skill.
Yes, but together it might be easier.
Absolutely, yes. I think when we get back to the vineyard.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Mental images.
As I said before, there is no encounters, upsettingly, from the DM side for the return back to Delveran. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 5-minute break to do the bathroom, and then we can start doing city stuff as you prepare for the Rasahari.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Arrived back at Delveran. There was no giant birds, no monsters, no random fey creatures to interrupt you on your way back. You simply arrive back at the gate. The guards themselves don't even seem to bear you any mind as you enter. I should ask, but because I just assumed you went straight back to Delveran, do you head back to your guild hall or do you head back to Delveran?
And BD are in Dolberan, correct?
Uh, you don't actually know. You can assume that, or you can spend sending, I guess, if you want over the days. You would assume, though, because Parmelia, you don't know if she's even allowed out of the city yet, and definitely seem to want to just essentially give hands-on training to the So, do I assume you head back to Delbrand?
My vote is on Dolveran, personally.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Unless anybody has any strong reasons why we should go to the guild hall.
You like your house?
I only had
Stop by, say hi.
one thought that I don't really know that Leo knows or cares. Like, we still have those seeds from Sophia's thing that can grow like a plant monster. And like, would we want to plant that at the winery to give it some protection if everybody's gone?
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
don't even know like how that works if it like bonds to the first thing that it sees when it wakes up or something.
Speaking of protection for the guild hall, I do have a new spell that I'm kind of interested in using at some point, but it is very expensive. I'll just put it in the chat.
Oh, well.
We're gonna have a holy guild hall
It's
Yeah,
a really fun spell.
or unholy.
does a lot of interesting things.
Radius of 60 feet. Nice.
I almost kind of imagine that that's might have been what the last mansion we were in might have been under.
Something like that.
Anyway, I have these seeds, but if we, I imagine they actually take time to grow. So maybe we don't even have time to go to the winery and do that.
The Rasahari is like we could go to the winery on our way there from Dolveran.
Yeah, very easily.
Let's do that.
Indeed.
You get to the gates, you're let in very easily. I'm just gonna roll up a random time. It's 3 p.m. What do you do for the day?
Can I talk to Rev? I remembered something.
Sure.
Sort of while we're traveling, if it's okay to back up like 6 hours.
Sure.
I was thinking, Rev, when we get back to Dolveran, Crow. Crow. Crow's kind of done a whole lot for us, and I know we did that quest for her, but anyway, the last time that we went to the spa, she mentioned that she really wanted to go, but we can't just get her into the spa. I was thinking, what if, because she's been really helpful to us, we take Crow out to a fancy dinner where she chooses. Ah?
That's a really good idea. Yes.
Okay, can I get everyone else on board?
Certainly.
Okay, hey, everyone in the guild, as we're traveling, let's take Crow out to a fancy dinner in Dolveran at a place of her choosing to show her that she rocks.
That would be fun.
What
I
if we
like
get to
that.
dress up?
Yes.
Dress up. That sounds fun.
Rev, roll me wisdom. History, actually. It's not a high DC. There is one issue with this plan of if she chooses a very fancy place, getting the party in is difficult.
I don't know that there are many upscale places that will accept all of us, but we can definitely pay her away.
Hell yeah.
And as you have this conversation about treating Pro, you arrive back at Dover, and what do you do?
Celastra,
Yes.
would you mind sending a message over to Parm?
Sure. What is it?
Just let her know that we're back, please. And I can meet up with her later if she wants.
I will send that message.
Thank you.
Almost immediately responds back. Oh, I'm glad that was fast. I actually have something I'd like to talk to her about too. Also, can I talk to? She cuts off there.
Farm wants to talk to you about something, and someone else, perhaps? She cut out.
I love sending.
She lost signal.
Could you? I'm sorry. Would you be able to send another one to her? Tell her I can meet her at the place we're staying at, or she and I are staying at. If that's okay with the rest of the group.
I suppose we won't be in mortal danger anytime soon, I hope. I'll send the message.
You look up to
Thank
the
you.
sky as it's becoming darkened with a bunch of dragons.
Oh my gosh, all those dragons.
You send the message. You get an immediate response back. Oh, that's perfect. Could 6 also be there? I kind of need to talk to her afterwards.
I will relay that and mention to Six that Permelia wants to talk to her.
Sure.
And Sastra, one last thing before we go. If you don't mind for a second, and she'll pull Celastra over if she's okay with getting pulled over for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I walk
Please
away.
make Slaughter use another sending spell.
It's not a sending spell. You're able to make metal things very, very easily. Yes, Celastra.
That's sort of my thing, yeah.
Do you know if it'd be possible to make sort of smaller objects? I've seen you work on bigger things. I say smaller than our guild badges.
Celastra points to her jewelry.
Yes, something along those lines. We can talk more about it later, but I was just curious if perhaps I can fund the gold. Um, I was just curious if perhaps you could make more of that similarity.
A ring, perhaps?
Navali's blushing. You know, that might be one thing needed.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
But it's good to know if you can. I can pay it. I should probably go meet up with Perm. Thank you, Slavstra. I appreciate it.
Yes, that's definitely something I can do. Your secret is safe with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
No problem.
She'll walk up to Six, a little nervous. All right, let's go. We need to go meet up with Perm. Yes, let's go. It's going to be great. It's going to go well. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go talk to Permelia. I'll catch up with you guys later.
Safe.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Well, I know what those two are doing. What is the rest of the party doing? I mean, I can just
I
have their
have-
scene
yeah.
while you're waiting.
I mean,
Leorin,
oh, go ahead.
would you mind using that spell to see if any of those shadow things are nearby?
I haven't really prepared my spells out of character, but I do think Leo would have brought that in, knowing that we're coming back into Dolveron. So
Makes sense to me.
sure, I will cast locate person. Is that it? Locate creature.
You cast locate creature and do not sense any of the shadow things that you described.
I think we are clear within 1,000 feet.
Thank you.
Out of character, how long were we planning on being in Dolveron?
I think the intent.
Okay. Oh, I mean, we need to buy supplies, and I think there was what I recall. There's a few to-do items which were like A, see if Permelia can come with us. B, like see if Sand wants to come with us, and then C, like buy a shitload of supplies. And we talked about like not a vehicle, but something. No, I don't really remember, but we're just preparing for the journey, I think. I could be wrong.
I guess I was trying to gauge if I would have time to maybe generate some extra funds and work with the other smithing guild.
Up to the party. Do you want to spend a few days back before you head out? You know, actually make sure you talk to everyone, get supplies.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that's a good idea. I know I'm not in this conversation, but I hard agree.
Yeah, and generally, like, if you're buying a bunch of shit, you're not gonna just go to, you know, a fantasy grocery store and get it all in one place. You have to, like, order it.
Yeah. Any objections if I say you're here for 3 days as you get everything? We'll have plenty of scenes in the middle of that, but as a general
telling me that-
basis,
Are you telling me there isn't a fantasy Walmart? What the fuck?
Costco.
it's called Fall Mart.
Falmart.
Sure.
And the issue that we were having with the cart was that we wouldn't be able to bring our animals, correct?
So you could bring your animals, though they would have their own issues, especially in the desert climate. But moving a cart through the sand isn't easy, and it would not speed you up at all, and it might actually hinder you in many cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll just say one thing that Leo would want to do during this time is check in with Azel. But otherwise, Leo's good to coast for 3 days and just help out miscellaneous things.
Well, I promise you there's probably still going to be plenty of scenes before you leave, because I'm sure, Rev, you have things to do.
I'm sure, yes.
I had to check. So let's start with the Primelia stuff, because it seemed pretty simple. Navali, 6, you arrive in the inn that she's been staying at. She waves you over to a table off to the side where it can be a bit quieter. Hi, there's a lot to talk about. Uh, how are you two doing?
I'm great. Our mission was a huge success. It went way easier than I thought it was going to be.
That's great.
We met a dryad.
A sexy fae tree?
Yeah. She was friendly. We helped her defeat a beast. It was so scary. It was super big. It almost ate Rev.
She is staring at Navali as if trying to figure out if 6 is lying.
It was very big. It certainly did almost eat Rev, but then Rev made it poof out of existence.
Twice.
You were gone for a week. 2 weeks.
Yeah, we kind of have a habit of sort of this stuff happening to us a lot.
6 looks at Navali and nods in affirmation.
Oh, okay. Well, Sand said he had to go back, but he did a nice favor, and she pulls out a bag and takes out a piece of paper and slides it over.
I look at the paper.
It's a map!
No, a map.
I couldn't find someone willing to give us anything besides this, but Sand is really helpful in finding some information. He said those are the 4 biggest cities that aren't in any real danger, so they'll all probably be standing in little tree areas or easy oases. Waysai? I don't know.
Me either.
This is amazing. Thank you for, trying for us, Parm.
Right. She clearly is blushing at that, and it seems to have more to say, but doesn't know where to start.
They're in a public place, correct?
Yes.
Navali and her have been in this place before, though. Have they ever gotten, any weird looks from people, enough that they might get in trouble?
Roll insight.
Okay.
With a 20 in insight, you are aware that she actually tries to avoid doing anything overt, even while you're in a public place in this inn. She always does something when it's clear that no one's looking or that you're in your rooms. So you get the feeling no one's giving you weird looks yet, but partially because she's been very intentionally almost pushing you away if you try to be affectionate when people could look.
Okay. Navali just needed that. She kind of has a look about her that says that she would like to, hold her hand in case she needs some extra support, but she sort of pulls back and just kind of, at least gives Perm the impression that, she's here if she needs a little bit of extra support. You can talk to us, Perm. It's okay.
Well, she's looking at 6. You wanted me to come with, right?
Yeah, if you want to.
She kind of looks around as if trying to find the words. I do and I don't. It's hard to. I want to do something else first, and I can't ask you to help me with this, but I really need to do this, or else I feel like I'm just going to be a burden.
Are you okay?
No.
Do we need to go somewhere else? Like, do we need to walk?
No. It's a lot easier if there's just idle noise, and at the very least, I can see who's listening if someone's listening. Um, I haven't been lying to you, but I haven't been mentioning this because I didn't know how to broach this. I've been getting sendings from my country for the past few months.
Oh, uh, are they are are they in an aggressive way? Are they angry at you?
No. Technically, I got a promotion, but that's not the point. I don't know how to feel about anything right now, and I think the only way that I can. I trust all of you way more than anyone else, and I think I just need to go home and see if things are as bad as my mind says they are, or if maybe it's not as bad and doubts go away. I don't know. But at the moment, I feel like if I go with you, those doubts will put people in danger. And she kind of looks towards Six. I don't want you to throw yourself in front of me because I have doubts.
I don't want to tell you what to do, but this sounds like a bad idea, Permelia.
I I know it's a bad idea, but I if I don't do this, when will I? And I need to at least I need to see if it's as bad as I thinking it is now, and if I can't not do that. Does that make any sense?
Something clicks for Six. She gets this look of understanding. She nods slightly and she says, "You want to see your home with a new perspective."
She nods.
Yeah.
I can't obviously ask any of you to come with me, but I I need to at least explain why I really do want to come with, but I know it's probably a really bad idea right now.
Are you afraid of me?
Roll insight. You can tell almost immediately that she tries to avoid that question, and you're not sure why.
Leo gave it away. I was there.
Oh, yes, I figured that out. No, it's fine. I, okay, it's a little worrying, but it's fine.
Is this Permelia saying it's fine when it's obviously not fine?
With a 7 insight, you have no
I have
idea.
no idea.
If you don't mind me asking, uh, how long will this journey back home be?
Um, my hometown is southeast of here. It's if I have a mount, I could probably get there in 3 weeks. It's near the border of the Rasahari, funny enough. Huh. I said that without thinking about it. That's weird.
I understand why you need to go, but I'm nervous.
I admit I'm a little nervous too. I don't want to make an important choice for you, Perm. I want you to decide for yourself, but I am worried.
Navali, you roll insight. With advantage.
Okay. Oh, good thing that was advantage.
So she seems to be talking around this. Ultimately, you're starting to read the reason that she's kind of nervous and trying to beat around the bush. It's less that she's afraid of going back or anything to that degree. It's more that she agrees that it's dangerous. She actually wants you to come with, but can't find the words to ask.
Um, hmm. 6. Do you mind if I just pull Parmelia aside for a moment? Are you okay with that, Parm?
Sure, I have some more stuff to talk to you about after this 6, but okay.
Okay, yeah.
6. Do I know how much alcohol around here costs? I can get you a drink if you'd like. It might be a moment.
The silver.
Sure.
All right. Navali will plop down a silver. Actually, she'll plop down a gold. Here. Sorry, and enjoy yourself. I'll try. I'll try not to be too long.
Okay.
So you're now more nervous?
I'm now more nervous. I wasn't that nervous before, and now I'm really nervous. Okay. I'm gonna take the gold piece. Now that the other two are gone, is anyone looking at me funny?
Roll perception. So you get a couple of looks, but you're used to getting a lot of looks while traveling around Delaran. You are aware that part of the reasons that you slept here was they're a bit more accepting than other places. So while you're getting looks, it's more of looks of, oh, her friends left. Is she going to leave too in a moment? Is she going to spend more money? It's more of the questioning, are you still a customer? Question.
Okay, you know what? Here's a gold piece around for me and everyone else that's nearby me.
They will not hesitate to take that nod and just start pouring drinks for everybody.
It's very much in a hey, leave me alone sort of way.
You get a couple of people who seem, oh, well, maybe we should go talk to them, and then you glare at them. They go, oh, I get this.
They get it. When they have the look, she gives them a little thumbs up, like thanks.
Navali, you go off privately, probably to your room.
Yes. As soon as the door is behind her, Navali is going to walk up to Perm and just kind of give her a hug.
Oh, I miss that. She hugs you back.
I miss this too. Perm, well, I guess I wanted to do that first before we talked. I really, really, really missed you. It's nice seeing you again. It's nice just being near you.
Apparently, every time you leave, you get into huge fights and someone almost dies.
Yes, that's starting to become a habit, and I don't know if I like it. I want you to be honest with me, though. Are you truly just fine? We're alone. You can talk to me. It's okay. Anything you want to talk about.
I don't know what to do, and I feel lost, and Okay, so when I was in Iridia, I felt trapped, and now I feel trapped for a different reason, and it feels like a trapping that I made, and I feel like I have to go look at my old cage, if that makes any sense, just to see the difference. Also,
Yes.
I've completely been talking to Iridian and not been telling anyone, and that kind of worries me that I've kind of been betraying your trust.
I mean, I trust you, Parm. I I was more worried that they were perhaps maybe trying to find you or hurt you. I I'm still not certain, I guess, about my own arrangement with Artorias and around that with
Oh,
you.
oh,
And
I can answer that. They still think you're dead, I think, probably. Uh, but they found out that Artorias kind of left me here, and other people have been giving me missions because it's been useful for them. And I've apparently been succeeding when I'm not even doing them, which is worrying.
that, huh, that is rather interesting. I mean, I I guess it's not really something to be, well, maybe we can look into that later. Um, I understand what you mean about feeling lost. I understand that you want to go see your homeland and figure some stuff out. And I also get the impression that you want me to go with you.
Mm. I Yes, I I know it's dangerous, and I can't ask that. You have other things that you're doing, but I kind of don't want to do this alone. But I know I need to do this.
I I'm not really sure if I can do that, Parm, but I understand as well. I don't want to be apart from you again. The first time that it happened, I said to myself I didn't want that to happen again. And it's been happening more often, and I like I like being around you. And this mission is very important for Six, and she's done a lot to help me. I'd feel bad about leaving the group to go do such a dangerous mission. But at the same time, I'm worried about you and what could happen to you. I know you're more than capable of taking care of yourself, but I it still makes me worried.
She gives a kind of half-hearted smile. Um, well, if I could bring it to good news, I'm allowed to leave.
That's great. They finally got back to you then.
Um, so apparently, I considered the official Iridian delegate to Dulveran according to Iridia, and I'm just allowed to stay here as long as I want. But if I have my own things to do, I'm just allowed to go. And they said piss on the people who said it did crime because I didn't.
Then, at the very least, that is very good news. And maybe, perhaps, while we're still here, we can maybe celebrate with that promotion. It
Do you see why I'm having doubts though? Because I don't think I really want it.
No, I also understand that. I I'm going to need a lot of time to think. I think we're going to be staying here for a couple of days.
Yeah, I've been helping VD set up and hunt things. I'll still. She is weird.
VD's very interesting. I still think she's maybe getting used to being around people again.
She decided to take every single quest about cleaning up the inns so she could hunt rats. I thought they were people, not cats.
Uh, I. Mm, Navali is having flashbacks to the ship. Perhaps we don't say that around Rever 6, please.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Was that? I'm sorry.
It's all right. Well, maybe. It. We learn and we live. Is that the term? I don't know if that's the term.
I don't know. I I don't want to pressure you. I know that everything's very important, and we can talk about it for the next few days.
Of course. Yes, there. I do want to spend a good amount of time with you in case I don't go with you. Just some us time for a little while. There is one thing that I have been meaning to say, Parm. And Navali will kind of like sort of look off to the side and just slowly take her hand, if Parm is all right with it.
She's fine with it.
It occurs to me that I haven't said something to you, and it makes me a little nervous to say it to you because it's I don't know. I'm sorry if I butcher this. Whew. Hermilia Chiara Lavinia von Gorelia. I love you so, so much. And I hope no matter what happens if we must part for a few moments, a few days, a few months, I hope you always know that. And you feel that. Oh, I said that. Okay.
Roll me persuasion with advantage.
Yeah.
There is a dead silence afterwards where you feel embarrassed, as if you're not sure exactly what the response is going to be. And then she suddenly leaps up and kisses you straight on the face, and apparently want to make sure that 6 is going to be waiting much longer.
I did give her a gold piece. I think we might be okay.
So we'll fade there. 6.
Hey.
What do you do for those, I'm going to say, 2 hours?
Oh my god, it is so much longer than I thought it would be. 6, thanks. She gets sort of nervous. And if attention is ever on, like, is she gonna keep paying? I'll fork over the money required to continue to be considered a paying customer.
Please mark off 2 silver.
Otherwise, maybe she'll practice what Karuto told her, and she'll take a breath, and she'll reflect on the recent happenings and what's coming forward, just sort of like being mindful.
Okay. We'll cut back to exactly the conversation that you're going to have afterwards. I was just curious to what you do while you wait, 6.
I stay at the inn as instructed.
Reference. Is there anything you're doing on the first day?
I think Rev wants to go back to the Tandem Imperium, and of course, say hi to Crow, everybody,
I'll quickly
be
stop
polite.
you there for a second. Is anyone else going with you?
Leo was heading in that direction to talk to Azel, so I assume he'd be there.
Fair enough. I'll poke Karuto into lost her later. I know Karuto is not currently here, to be fair. So, you and Liren head towards the Tandem Imperium. Continue.
Oh, just when we get there, Rev is going to see about using their training space to try to just use a few hours to try to put together some of the things he's learned with Sophia.
Coming in, Crow will give you an eye and essentially mention, we have some reservations coming in soon. Are you going to need sleeping arrangements for tonight?
We can find arrangements elsewhere if need be.
Might be easier considering that a lot of people are coming in soon. Uh, we can put you up tomorrow if necessary, but probably not tonight. Sorry. Uh, yeah, no, training's fine. That's in the basement. Uh, you know the rules. We have rules? I guess we have rules. So that being said, is there anything in particular that you're practicing?
So, I don't know if there's anything to this, but what he would like to do, Pandora Trigger he can use for an hour. So during that hour, he would like to try to use both of Scarlet's spells. I believe Sophia was able to figure out something about one of them one time, and he wants to see if she is able to do that when both are active or something.
Roll Arcana. You feel like she figured out something, but she's missing a piece. Like there's a third part of this that she can't do yet. Uh, but you get the feeling that once you find that third piece, she wants to talk to you about exactly what this could do. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be any extra benefit, with the exception of the same benefit you had with the other one, which is while you're Pandora triggered, you can now reaction to turn it off.
Gotcha.
That being stated, Leo. Rev goes off to the training room.
Is Azel in her study?
Yep.
Leo knocks. Kind of lets himself in because I seem to recall she doesn't really respond.
Correct. Like you don't get a response, you let yourself in. She's just looking over some books at the moment. She gives a half glance towards you but doesn't stomp you.
Hey, Azel. Just wanted to check in regarding the mansion. You didn't seem too pleased that we were there.
Oh, I don't mind that you're there. I just wish you told me in advance. Did you kill any of them?
No.
Good. I don't want to resummon them.
So, and they seem to have received us well, so is it okay if we use your teleportation circle? That's kind of why we went there.
Oh, I have no objection. I wouldn't have told you about it if I minded. I just wish you told me you were going there so I could let them know in advance.
Well, thankfully, just a few pranks and we came out of it okay.
Good.
Do you have other places like that you've prepared for teleportation, or other circles that you're familiar with?
I know a few of them, but they're fairly far away.
This is an out of character question, but like, because one of the circles I learned, you described it as I saw it like written on a wall or in a book or something. Like, is that a transferable piece of knowledge if somebody had a circle that they could just give it to me?
Ordinarily, no. The specialization for that one is simply because I need an excuse for you to get it because you learned the spell.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
There is a place in a different continent, fairly far away from here. It's within a castle. It's not mine, but so long as you're a fiend, they won't attack you. I wouldn't suggest that one.
Similar to the fiends in the mansion, like because they know you?
Oh no, these are much more powerful.
Oh.
Those fiends in the mansion I summoned. They're mine. They have a contract to me. This one, it's someone else's completely. It's simply that, to be quite frank, they have a more or less kill on sight to anyone who is not of a more demonic equation.
Azel herself, we know to be a succubus, right?
Yep.
Is that strange that they have contracts on each other? Or the fiends have contracts on each other?
Roll religion.
Well, I'm an intelligence caster.
It's not that strange. You probably at some point read books about the hells and learned that this is kind of just how they do everything. As long as you have a contract to someone, it's fine. Most likely, what she's doing is feeding them souls. Not her soul, other people's souls. So, that's probably not good. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Leo's just trying to get a gauge on who our allies are and how evil they are. But he's kind of just like nodding, like, "Oh, interesting. Okay." So there's that one, and you know of others?
there's one that I haven't been to for a very long time, and I don't have any assurances that it's safe. It's far east, deep in Iridian territory. It used to be a very lovely glade, but over time they turned it into a fortress and put a teleportation circle there. And it's one of the first things I learned upon arriving at this continent as a place that I'd go back to. But I have no idea if that still stands.
Not right now, but being as that you've been to these locations, and I would very much like to see these things for myself someday, so that I can use the circles. Again, not right now, but is that something I could talk to you about if you were to take me there and back, just so I can take a quick look at them and study them?
We'd have to start talking about work and payment, but I'd be willing to for certain payments.
Okay. Good to know. I am certain that we can come to an arrangement if that becomes necessary. I know that as you probably know, well, no, I'm not. Leo trails off and doesn't say what he was thinking. Well, I appreciate it. Sorry that we didn't let you know. I'll be seeing you.
Sure. He immediately just goes back to her book and starts ignoring you.
I'm just gonna do a quick 360 before I leave. Like, you had sort of hinted that there's like this bottle that was pulling blood from a radius, and I want to see if she has like some similar thing in here. Or is she like doing local experimentations that align with anything I saw over there?
Roll Arcana. Leo, she is doing a lot of infernal shit. Yes, there is, for example, clearly things that are designed to gather vast amounts of blood. That is just magically induced, and where it's coming from could be rather disturbing if go into too much detail. There is also just off to the side clearly an experiment that is most likely just about actively causing problems with people's dreams. Exactly what that could be, you're not sure on a glance. You just can clearly tell there's very clear markings of divination magic that's based upon the idea of going to someone's mind. And even off to the side, you can see just notes scrawled about that when you just glance, you can tell that it's written in Infernal and it's talking about some kind of things that would require definite actual sacrifice.
So one could, without an inside check, be like, Azel's probably not. These aren't experiments for the greater good. They may actually just be straight up bad, but and yet we're sort of in bed with him.
Subjective. You don't have enough information to go greater good. She could be killing bad people, but she's definitely not forgoing her infernal nature.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I leave, and I soak that in.
Karta,
Yes.
anything you're doing on the first day?
I don't think Karito has any business to do before they leave for thingy, although he's going to check in with Tsushiki. In fact, yeah, just briefly chat with Tsushiki.
Sure. He's been staying at an inn and just making himself busy.
Is first thing he's going to ask about it is how's he been finding Delvaran now he's not cooped up in some noble's manor?
Admittedly, the food is much worse.
Hmm. And have you been occupied?
I have been keeping myself thinking about the mission at hand, and ultimately, I've come to the conclusion most likely I should take a journey elsewhere soon. As long as you would trust me to do so without any more hunting, I'd be happy to simply meet back here when I find more information elsewhere.
He nods along with this. On that note, I was thinking where we are going, the desert. The last time we were there, such a place was beyond inhospitable. The creatures we faced alone were, well, to be quite frank, terrifying. I have concerns over us returning safely, and, well, if I did not come back, then saving the Veil is more important than my own pride. I think it would be best to leave the bottle with you.
He wordlessly just extends his hand to take the bottle.
And character provides it.
In this case, I will instead stay here and simply ask the bottle questions while waiting for your return. You don't return in 2 months, I shall assume the worst.
Character nods. I feel that perhaps at least most of the guild will return if things do go wrong. We have grown stronger since we were last there, but since we lost one of our number a while ago, I'm not feeling quite so immortal, perhaps.
I never thought I'd see a ghost afraid of death.
There is a small measure of irony.
I'm sure Inari protects all of her children. I believe you'll be fine.
Your faith bolsters my own. Thank you, Tsushiki.
And thank you for trusting me with this. Also, I suppose it should not be unsaid. Thank you for not killing me.
Well, thank you for teaching me that perhaps everything is not straightforward as I once thought.
So I'm not going to do a thank you war for the next 20 minutes, but assume that happens.
Absolutely. Being
A
incredibly
Canadian
polite
standoff.
to each other.
Bowing back and forth.
neither of them are willing to step down until the other one accepts it, which does not happen.
3 months later.
Beautiful.
Slostra,
Hello.
did you intend to go work at the smithery?
I did. Could you remind me their name again? I keep forgetting.
Bearded Anvil.
Bearded Anvil. Okay, thank you. Yes, I wanted to go work with them, do whatever jobs they have available, and I was planning to ask if they might have any ideas about a vehicle that could traverse sand. I know they may not be the most likely source of that information, but I thought I'd ask.
Just give me a basic investigation, and we'll base it on that.
Okay. Did that?
You can tell that when you mention this, they start coming up with ways that it's possible and things that they've made in the past for things like this. But you can also tell that a lot of it's more theoretical, as most of the stuff that would come to them would be like fixing these parts instead of actively making it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So no solid leads, it sounds like.
No solid leads, just hints that it can exist, just no direct answer.
Okay.
That said, also give me smithing tools.
Whoops.
I'm gonna just let you roll with wisdom because you're using this based on past experience. You help around, and they seem very happy to have your help. You're clearly still very talented, and they will give you 4 gold pieces for the day of just a thanks for everything. That you really did help with a lot of things.
Nice. Happy to help.
6.
Hi.
After waiting for 2 hours, Promelia and I assume Navali will come back downstairs.
Yes.
I quickly scan them to try and assess their disposition.
Roll insight. They look flushed, and most likely they may have had an argument upstairs, and that's why it took them so long. In fact, both of them look sweaty and kind of. It's you can tell that they've, at the very least, had a very long conversation that took a very long time. Neither of them seem well, so to speak.
It was such a long conversation.
Okay, I'm not going to get involved. I've been waiting for 2 hours. Whatever they were dealing with, it seems like it's over with now. I'm not even going to ask about it to get them started on it again. Everything's fine.
I've assumed we've sat down.
Yes, you come up and sit down next to her.
Apologies, Six. I hope, I hope it wasn't too boring.
I'm fine. Are y'all good? Y'all are good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a lot I need to talk to you about, but let's just get it off. Just say it out loud, right? I figured out your dad's the butcher. No one's hearing us. They're getting drunk.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yes.
here, let me say, your dad's a butcher.
Oh, cheeky. Yeah, Permelia. Yeah.
So you're not an Iridia. They don't care.
Well, it's not something that everybody's supposed to know. But you're not afraid of me?
No, I'm not afraid of you, Six. I always assumed you had someone looking out for you, and that just makes me understand that someone powerful. Also, you kept talking about him with a lot of information that made me go, you know him very well. Also, you seemed offended when I was offended by him.
Well, yeah. I don't want to talk about it and offend you.
6.
Yeah?
I'm going to be very honest with you, and I want you to listen. I don't care, but it made me think about my own parents and how I need to talk to them and at least understand what's wrong with my people. I might just need to yell at them, but I know I need to do this because when I thought about what you're going through, I went, if I have any doubts that my parents could be right, I might choke, which will get people killed, and I know that.
6 is a little bit taken aback by the seriousness of Permelia's words. You've really been thinking about this.
I've had 2 weeks to think about it.
Well, yeah. I have to go do the same thing, you know?
I know.
I hope he'll listen to me. I think that he will. He likes me, right?
I don't think my parents will. Gives a half-heart smile at that.
Yeah.
But I am your friend, 6. I do trust you. I know it's really hard for you to believe that. But you did literally die for me. It's really hard not to trust someone who's willing to literally die for you.
That's true. It's... Well, I didn't know his reputation in Iridia, and when you were talking about that, and how you don't have anything in common, I just thought it was gonna be really bad. I have to find out what the deal is, too. I have to find out what happened in the past. It's not that I don't believe you, but neither of us were there. We've only heard it from people who have told us about it. I only heard about it because of you, and I'm not actually mad at you. I just don't know what the truth is.
She's going to take a deep breath, as if thinking about the exact words she's trying to think of to say. I want to help you. So I want to make an agreement.
Okay.
If you help me yell at my parents, I will help you yell at your parent. And
Okay.
I won't run away, and I won't be afraid of him, because, to be quite frank, you'll kick his ass for me.
You really think so?
You'll try.
I will try. You are correct. I never even landed a real hit on him in training. Okay. Okay. I agree. This is a good deal. But there's one other thing you need to know before we make the deal official.
Need to convince everyone else?
Yeah, there's 2 things, Ben. I have to tell you about our guild's mission so you can understand what you're asking to be a part of. The person who brought our guild together is blackmailing us into accomplishing a goal. We were handpicked. And that goal is to kill or otherwise neutralize him.
They got his own daughter to do that?
Yeah. And she laughed about it. So that's where I'm at. Obviously, no one in Shield of the Outcast is going to walk up and kill him because someone said so.
Oh, Honestly, I don't think you guys would kill people even if you had direct reasons to kill them, unless someone's life was directly in danger.
Yeah, so we're gonna go, and we're going to go gather information and figure out what to do. And maybe that means killing his Eidolon. And maybe that means killing him. But that's not what I want to do. Sorry.
Six, I would never assume that I could ask someone else to kill their own parent. As I said, my agreement is to help you yell at him.
Okay.
I'm sure he deserves it. All
Yeah.
parents deserve it at some... She pauses and realizes what she's saying. I'm sure it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so stupid. It is so stupid, Permelia, that the only thing he wouldn't like about you is that you're an Iridian.
That concerns me, and I will take that as a compliment because I don't want to think about what you just said.
Oh, yeah. No, you're strong. And you're really tough. And you're very powerful. And you make
Sure.
decisions. Yeah.
Keep saying him all those things. I believe you.
This is so fucked up. The whole thing is fucked up. Okay. I'm gonna convince the rest of the group that we're going with you. Because I'm going with you, and they're just gonna have to fucking deal.
Oh, that... Okay. I'm gonna go... She looks at Navali. You want to go on a date for a few days while she does this?
Oh, I'd love to. I like to feel like Navali looked a little tense throughout all of that, just like kind of like looking back and forth. So like just hearing the like, let's go on a date, like, yes, please. I mean, is if you're okay, do you think the group would be okay with that, Six?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm gonna try.
Do you do you think maybe you want some support?
I actually would rather do it by myself. It would feel more real. Does that make sense?
Of course.
It does. I experienced that. Oh, you're gonna talk to Leo. Leo, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about this, but it's kind of important. He takes out a very clearly magically locked notebook. He might fix this.
Okay, I'll give it to him.
Six, if anything comes up, have Celestra or Leo reach out to me, okay?
Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna go do that.
Six.
Hmm.
Do you just gonna roll something? She gives you a hug.
Six needs it.
I trust you.
Yeah. I'll get everybody on board and then we'll go yell at your parents.
And then we'll yell at yours.
And then we'll yell at mine. I found out that my mom is in an Eidolon and that the Eidolon is somewhere in the Rasahari, and if we pick that up, then we can yell at Dad super good.
Okay. Change of plans. She's sitting you back down.
Huh?
You're going to get very drunk with me tonight, and then tomorrow you convince everyone.
Okay. I'll do that.
I'm sorry, our date has to be later.
No, it's all right. I understand completely.
Welcome to drink with us.
Uh, Navali thinking about the past times that she was not able to hold her alcohol. I will try to keep up and not pass out again.
Great. I'd like only Navali to roll me a Constitution saving throw for the night.
Yay!
Perfect. That's all I need to know.
Oh, every time.
6. As you might imagine, Permelia caught the fact that you are clearly having mental distress and just wants to be there for you. She doesn't need to talk about it, but she wants to essentially be a friend who's willing to listen and drink with you and simply showcase that everything's going to be okay. Simultaneously, about an hour in, Navali gets very, very drunk and starts almost falling over, and Vermilia has to go tuck her in before hanging out with you again.
While we're talking, I wish to ask her something.
Of course.
Do you think you can help me get in the library? They don't allow demis.
Oh, I'm human.
So
I'm a human delegate from Iridia, and therefore I have extra power and privilege.
okay.
Are you willing to pretend to be a servant?
Sure. I mean,
Sorry,
that's
it's just easier.
That's what we're gonna have to do if we go to Iridia, right?
Probably. I know it's. I don't want to, but it's.
It's
easier.
okay. You'll get to pretend to be my slave when we go to the Ratari.
Oh, joy.
Hey, I'm doing it for you. You can do it for me.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, Rev has put me in charge of like strategy and tactics in fights. And I only really know what Dad taught me, and I don't like have any other training. So I was thinking if there were like books in the library that were about military strategy, I could read one of those and it might help.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that everything that I just talked about would let me into those kind of books, so probably.
Yeah, that's all I need, especially if we're going to the Rasahari because there's a lot of monsters there. And I don't want to get killed again.
How about this? First thing in the morning, I make sure that Navali isn't having a horrible hangover. Then we go to the library, we pick up some books for you, and then you go talk to everybody about the fact that I've uprooted everything, and I'm not going to think about that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Perfect. 6.
Yeah.
I need to make sure you know I do think of you as a friend.
I believe you. I think that you're my friend too.
Great. So, could you not throw yourself and die for me, if possible?
Well, okay, I didn't think that I was gonna die. I wasn't
Okay.
planning on it. It just kind of happened.
Okay, but could you not?
Okay, I will stay alive. I have to stay alive so that if shit goes down in Iridia or in the Rasahari, I can yell really loud at the people who were causing the shit, and then we win.
We need to get those books, military strategy.
It was a joke, Perm.
We need to get you those books in military strategy.
Okay.
Okay, I assume that's everything people want to do for the first day.
Could I rewind?
Sure.
And just we can fast further through this if it's okay. I wanted to also just check with Azel about that spell that you used to enter the death domain the one time. Would I ever be able to get a sense of what level spell that was?
Roll me Arcana again. You learned it is a 6th level spell.
Okay, cool. That's it.
Okay. 6, do you want to have the scene of going to the library?
Only if people don't mind, yes.
Everett.
Yeah.
Morning comes. Navali, please roll me a Constitution saving throw so I know if you spent 5 lay on hands to remove a hangover.
Let's see.
You managed to avoid the hangover.
Yay!
Amelia will let you know as she's getting dressed. So 6, you need to go to a library. Is there anything you need me to pick up?
No, it's all right. Be safe, please.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek. Date when I get back.
Yes, sounds good.
6. You go to the library. You have an initial issue of, can't let them in. You're allowed in, but your servant has to wait outside. And then Vermelia does the one thing that being human lets her do, and that's continue to complain until they acquiesce. It takes some time, but after 20 minutes, she gets you into where they're holding a variety of what are clearly some fairly old books. A lot of them talk about old strategies of, let's just say, military tactics, war things that happened in the past wars that were heavily studied. Roll me history. 6, it's boring as fuck.
She's trying. She's trying so hard, but she is miserable and visibly miserable.
You did not know it's possible to write about a battle where hundreds of thousands of people died and how there was heroes and generals and somehow make it dry and boring. But they did it.
That's impressive.
And as anyone who has read Civil War books, trust me, it's more common than it should be. After about an hour, Amelia's going to look over, see how bored you are, and look over to the shelf and go, 6, why do you want to learn this?
So I don't disappoint Rev and get the guild killed.
How long are we going to be in town?
3 days?
Okay, so she pulls out a book off the side and kind of quickly looks through it to make sure it's what she thinks it is. Can I give a suggestion?
Please.
Okay, so when I was little, my parents were really big into teaching us military stuff because we were born to be great fighters. They did this with a board game, and she kind of showcases that the book is a rule book. Do you want to try it that way?
Okay.
I can get them to copy this, and when we get back, we can just start practicing when I'm not with Navali.
Okay, it's a board game.
Yeah, you have little figures, and you move them around on a map, and you decide based upon what these rules say what actually happens.
You think that'll help?
This one's designed to be as realistic as possible, so hopefully. Technically, I guess it's a war game, but
Okay, that sounds way better than reading this boring ass book. So yeah, sure, let's try it.
okay. Its name is a bit of a mouthful.
Is it Iridian by design?
Ha ha.
Okay, okay, firm. Let's hear it.
Symphony of War, the 3 emblems, Redux Deluxe ×2 Ultimate Edition.
What?
I don't think half of these were there when I last played it.
Okay, so you said it's got little figures.
Not with it, but it's how we can just use coins and such to represent.
No, we have a magic snake. I'm gonna get Celastra to make cool pieces to go on it. We can have like a Celastra, and we can have a Permelia and a Six.
They're meant to represent armies, not single people.
Well, okay, we can just say that it's an army of Celastras.
You see her have a blank stare and stare off in the distance. That is horrifying. They would kill everything.
Yeah, so clearly this is the strongest piece. Let's do it.
Okay, we'll figure out what it is according to the rules later. Go ask them to start scribing this. I'll get it picked up in a few days.
Okay.
And she does that.
Thanks, Permelia.
What else are people going to do for the next few days? Especially since Six is probably going to have to run over and tell everyone, anyway, change of plans.
Rev wants to hang out with VD. If she's either doing jobs or she wants to pick up a job, he wants to go with her.
You have no issues in finding her and finding that she is currently looking for a new job and find that she has been constantly working at inns, mostly as guard duty or sometimes when giant mutated rats come up and need someone powerful enough to kill them, she immediately volunteers to murder them horribly.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
Right? And so they honestly don't care if you take the corpses.
I'm sure they don't.
So, anyway, this is way easier to get things done, and now that I have my own pocket change, do I have to pay you?
No.
Excellent.
Oh, is this what you want to do? Are you content with this?
That's a weird question. I'm bored, honestly.
Bored? You mean in the sense of rats are not sufficient prey? Is that what you mean?
I mean, it's the grind. It's the, oh, I complete this thing, now I have to go turn this in, get the money, then immediately find a new one. And if I don't do that, there's nothing to do.
Ah, well. I don't know if, well, we are going to be traveling soon into rather dangerous territory.
Nope.
Okay. But the grind is bothering you.
Oh, it definitely is, but I remember what happened last time you said dangerous territory, and no, thank you.
Fair enough. Okay, well, is there anything you can think of that might alleviate this? Something, is there something missing from your life, or again, just the,
Can I hire someone to do the paperwork for me?
out of character. Is that is that something a scribe could do or something?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You just usually fostered on to Leah, but when Leah was gone, you did have to do a lot of it, and it wasn't that difficult, but it is boring.
Sure, I don't see why not.
And you don't care if I just start paying scribes and make less money? Wait, you're not taking my money anyway. Sweet, doing that.
It's all on you. I mean, you you said you came from the blighted continent, correct?
No,
Oh,
it came from New Hope. Though, admittedly, what's the Blighted Continent? Because everything was kind of dead.
we well, okay. We were there recently. Um,
What?
it's it involved a dryad and I think moving through a tree from here to there and back again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm I'm at about as much as of a loss as you on that one, but it
How many
happened.
drugs?
Unfortunately, none.
That's
So,
upsetting.
my question is, how did it get that way?
Oh, you mean like? If it's the same place, if you just call it the Blighted Continent, that seems kind of lame. But my mom told me some stories about why the land's all dried up, and it's all horrifying.
I'm all ears if you want to talk about it.
You want me to tell you a story?
Sure, of course.
She's going to grab your hand, drag you to a bench, and forcefully push you to sit
Okay.
down. Once upon a time, there was a powerful king who wanted more power than anything in the world. So he gathered his armies, gathered his forces, and started to take and take and take till he found an area, a place that he was told that if he took this, the witches there would be upset with him. And he took it anyway, because he didn't care. All he cared about was the land and the power. And so the witches cursed his bloodline. He cursed his entire land. Anything that his lays claim to his hand shall be devoid of life, as death shall be all that follows. He didn't believe in the curse until it started happening, and then he did everything he could to try and remove the curse, and it seemed unremovable. He killed the witches, he destroyed the cities, nothing worked. So he came to a different conclusion. He just has to conquer everything. So anyway, he died like 300 years ago, but his descendants kept conquering, and they took over the entire continent like 10 years ago. Life sucks now. I was
That's
like 8.
that's horrible. Ah, I'm sorry, BD.
I don't remember life, so why do you think I've been chasing butterflies? It's amazing. Why do butterflies even exist? They're just pretty.
Rev kind of smiles.
Anyway, my mom could just be making bullshit up. I just knew that. That's what she told me when I asked, why is everything so cracked and dead? And why do we have to eat monster flesh every day?
Monster flesh.
Oh, yeah, we slew hydras and such. That's where we got sustenance. Or giant fish. The giant fish tasted pretty good, but they could eat you whole.
At any rate, has anyone ever told you you're quite the storyteller? That's very impressive.
Oh, I get it from my mom. Oh, no, technically probably from my uncle, but my mom was much sweeter than my uncle.
What were they like?
Uh, My mom, she just wanted the best for everyone and really did go out of her way to just make a good life for herself and also knew how to stab people really good. But she made some of the best friends and apparently they were my uncle's friends first, but he kind of just gallivanted around and never came back. Uh, but some of the people he met did, and well, I miss them more than anything else.
See.
She takes a long, deep breath. So anyway, I don't want to talk about sad stuff because I'm not going back there. And everyone's probably dead anyway.
I mean, you don't know that for sure, yes?
Well, my mom was really good at surviving things, so she's probably fine. And eh, I don't know. I've seen Violet do some amazing stuff. She's probably fine.
If, out of curiosity, I don't. It's hard to explain how we got there. I don't know that we could go back. But if they were there and if they were fine, where might we find them?
Uh, Probably last hope.
I see. I'll keep an eye out.
If you do find them, um, try and bring them back to a place that actually has life, please.
Of course. Of course.
Thanks. Anyway, I'm gonna go kill some rats now. You coming?
Sure. Lead the way.
Anything else people would like to do for the next few days, now that we had multiple tragic backstories explained?
I try to round everybody up.
I'm going to say you succeed automatically. Someone's feeling particularly obstinate for no reason.
Hi, everybody. Permelia is in distress and wants our help.
Okay. How can we help?
She wants to go back to her homeland and yell at her parents. And she has asked me to go with her. In exchange, she agrees to come help us on all of our Rasahari trips. I mean, obviously, we would all go with her to her home. I wouldn't go by myself.
Someone please describe the sound of silence as this is happening.
I think Rev is just like trying to scan Six. Not that he doesn't believe her or anything, just trying to kind of gauge her disposition.
She seems like her mind is already made up.
Oh, okay. Um, how soon would she like to head out?
As soon as we're done in town. She said that it does share a border with the Rasahari to the southeast.
Is that a... So it's on the way to where we're ultimately going? Sort
No,
of. Oh.
not at all, actually.
Can we
it's
can enter the Rasahari from there though?
We could. It would just be a really long trip. I actually wasn't thinking about any of the shit that I asked you to do for me at all. It just seemed really important to her. Somebody say something.
As far as I'm concerned, there's not much more to say. Let's prepare and make it happen.
Really?
Of course, she's one of us.
You're in, I'm in.
The Rasahari stuff, we don't have a time limit, but she seemed really upset. And if this will make her more resolved, I think that we could use her help for what we want to do in the Rasahari. She is a very powerful warrior.
I want all the help we can get, that's for sure.
Rev nods.
I agree.
Six sort of looks to Liarin and Karito to gauge their reactions.
I don't know. She is one of us.
You can anticipate that Leo probably looks nervous, and you could probably guess some reasons why, but he's not. He's not saying no. He's just sort of. He's just sort of there.
Well, I guess that's that. Maybe I was nervous over nothing. She can tell you about it a little better than I can. I sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It's personal.
Are we going to, we're certainly not going to be welcomed in Iridia.
Ah, we're all her servants.
I'm going to have to wear the maid outfit, aren't I?
Yeah, you're gonna have to wear the maid outfit, Navali.
Ugh.
I might have to wear a maid outfit. You know what? I would wear a maid outfit for Permelia if it meant keeping her safe.
Do we all wear maid outfits?
Yeah, even Karito.
Arta squints.
She's grinning with mischief. This is an obvious joke.
I mean, in all honesty, I wouldn't feel as self-conscious if others were to wear maid outfits as well, so...
Okay, well, if that's what we're going to do, why don't we loop her in on it and have her describe what we need to do to prepare since she knows it better than we do. Then we're going to go yell at her parents. Those are her words, not mine. I know they sound like mine. That's what she said. And then we come back.
Very well.
So, just to confirm, because I just making sure I didn't misunderstand. We're not going. We're going from Dolveron to there, back to Dolveron, and then we wouldn't just sort of continue if it shares a border. Would it?
It's my understanding our mounts wouldn't do well in the desert, and we would need our mounts to go here. Additionally, we'd have to carry so many supplies for a full trip because it's a couple weeks away that it would be better to come back.
Stewart is going to just poke in here with a, when you actually tell Permelia this, she's going to make the suggestion of just buying supplies at her hometown.
Do you think they would not overcharge?
I buy them for you. You just have to give me the money. So no. Every now and then there's expeditions to see if they're how dangerous the monsters are. They have what we need.
That could be a good idea.
Admittedly, I don't have a solution for the mounts unless you want to stable them there for a while.
Well, I don't have to worry too much about Mira. I can just sort of, poof her away every now and again. But I'm not sure what to do with the foxes.
Can I make a crazy suggestion?
Sure.
If you trust VD, she can come with us to my homeland, and then you can have her bring the foxes back to Dulverman.
I imagine we're all together.
I assume so.
Navalia will look to Rev.
Yes, we can ask her.
For the sake of simplicity, Rev, you're probably going to be the one asking, right?
Sure.
Roll persuasion. She'll agree under the condition that if something truly dangerous is going on, she's allowed to just hide.
Deal.
Well, with plans being set and supplies for a different trip being purchased first, we will end our session there and see what happens when you head out next week.
Oh boy.
Woo.
Hell yeah.
Aw, yeah.
Gonna go help Perm.
We may never go to the Rasahari.
Yeah,
That's
I
okay.
will just continue to say, so anyway, do something else, and then you do.
Damn it, Skern.
Even made a Rasahari map this time.
Oh, you're serious, huh?
Permelia needs help.
We
have
gotta
to
help her.
Yeah, we gotta help her.
It's
So-
now.
Real quick, are we good for next week?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
In that case, we will see everyone next week.
Thank you for running.
Thanks for running.
You had a great time.
Thanks, guys.